Hey folks, let's continue in our discussion on section 3.1 dealing with complex numbers. Let's just give some definitions, some terminology about complex numbers. First of all, the standard form of the complex number is always going to be a plus bi. Complex just simply means that I'm combining two different types of numbers. So I'm taking my normal real numbers that I've dealt with our whole lives, and I'm going to combine that with this new imaginary number. So the real part is just the A part, and the imaginary part is just the B part. Now, in your assignment, you're going to run into something where they ask you to define whether it's a pure real, a pure imaginary, or a non-real complex. So I want to talk about that for just a moment. Pure real, an example of this would be just 4 plus 0i, where I really only have a real part and nothing else. Pure imaginary is where I only have an imaginary part, so something like 0 plus 4i would be considered pure imaginary. Non-real complex means that I'm going to have both pieces. So it's non-real, it's not just a real, nor is it just an imaginary. I have a little bit of both. I'd also like to deal with some rules to remember. You had these rules back when you've had previous math courses. These rules are just a reminder. So some of the first things that you want to deal with here, always number one, always deal with your negatives first. Secondly, when you're multiplying and dividing, you're allowed to multiply insides and insides. You're allowed to multiply and divide outsides and outsides, but you are never going to be allowed to multiply insides with outsides, ever. Thirdly, you always want to add and subtract like terms. Always add and subtract like terms. So we will deal with those rules a good bit when we get into the examples that we have during class.